Hello friends, in this lecture we are going to start with a new chapter, that is change in profit sharing ratio. We have discussed about the fundamentals of partnership, goodwill, and now we are going to discuss the third chapter, that is change in profit sharing ratio. Right? Let's see. I have told you about the partnership deed. Right? We have discussed about partnership deed, that it is an agreement between the partners that define the terms of partnership. Right? Now, if there is any change in the terms and conditions of agreement, change in terms and conditions of agreement, that is partnership deed. If there is any change in the terms and conditions of agreement, then this is known as reconstitution of firm. Right? I have told you about the partnership deed, that it is an agreement between the partners, right, which define the terms and conditions of partnership. And if there is any change in the terms and conditions of agreement, that is the partnership deed, then we call it as reconstitution of firm. Clear? So what is reconstitution of firm? Any change in the existing agreement of partnership is reconstitution of firm. Now, what can be the cases where reconstitution is possible? Number one case is change in profit sharing ratio. Because there is a change in the terms and conditions, so it is reconstitution of firm. Then we have admission of a partner. Although we have discussed these in goodwill also, the similar conditions are here. Retirement of a partner. Then we have death of a partner. Then we have amalgamation. Two firms joining hands to work together in partnership. In all these cases, there is a change in the terms and conditions of the agreement. So it is reconstitution of firm. Right? And in this chapter, we are going to discuss the first reconstitution. The first reason for the reconstitution, that is change in profit sharing ratio. Now let me explain you this with the help of an example. Change in profit sharing ratio. Now suppose there are two partners, X and Y. Right? They are sharing profits in the ratio of 1:1. Clear? Now they decided, they are sharing profits in the ratio of 3:2, not 1:1. Now they have decided to share, now profit sharing ratio, that is new profit sharing ratio is 1:1. There are two partners, X and Y, they are already sharing profits in the ratio of 3:2. Now they have decided that they will share the profits in the ratio of 1:1. Right? Now what will happen? Let's see. if I talk of X, what is X old share, right? And what is X new share in profit? Old share is 3 by 5 and new share is 1 by 2. Now which one is more? Old share is more or new share is more? If I take a common denominator, it will become 6 by 10 and this will become 5 by 10. That means earlier X was getting 6 rupees against 10. Now he will be getting 5 against 10. He is at a loss or gain? He is at a loss. That means in the process of change in the profit sharing ratio, X is sacrificing some part of his share. How much it's sacrificing? Old share minus new share. It is 1 by 10. 1 by 10 is the sacrifice of share by X. Clear? Earlier his share was 3 by 5, now his share is 1 by 2. If I take a common denominator 10, earlier his share was 6 by 10, now his share is 5 by 10. So there is a reduction in the share by 1 by 10. Right? This is a sacrifice by X. Now let's see about Y. What is Y's old share? And what is Y's new share? Let's compare now. Old share was 2 by 5 and new share is 1 by 2. If I take a common denominator 10, this will get 4 by 10 and this will get 5 by 10. Now he is at a loss or he is at a gain? Earlier he was getting 4 rupees, now he is getting 5 rupees. He is at a gain. If I subtract new share from old share, this will become 1 by 10 negative. This is gain by Y. Now read this equation. X is sacrificing 1 by 10 and Y is gaining 1 by 10. What it means that X is sacrificing some part of his share in favor of Y. Right? Y is at a gain and X is sacrificing in case of change in profit sharing ratio. Now we reach at a conclusion that in case of change in profit sharing ratio, one partner will acquire some part of profit, some share in profit from another partner. Right? Here in this example, Y is acquiring 1/10 share in profit from X. So we have two partners. One is known as the sacrificing partner, right? Who is the sacrificing partner? X. And one is the gaining partner. Who is the gaining partner? Y. Clear? Now one important point here is, see in this example also, the sacrifice made by X is equal to the gain by Y. Right? This is a very obvious equation. The amount which is being sacrificed by X will always be equal to the gain of Y. Right? So you can write down aggregate amount of gain by one partner. Who is that gaining partner in our case? Y. Right? Will always be equal to aggregate amount of sacrifice by another partner. Who is the sacrificing partner? X. Right? This is one important point, that aggregate amount of gain by one partner will always be equal to aggregate amount of sacrifice by another partner. Clear? So this is the change in profit sharing ratio. This is the first step in change in profit sharing ratio, that is to calculate the sacrifice or gain. How to calculate? Calculation of sacrifice by a partner, or I can say gain. How to calculate this? There is a simple formula for calculating sacrifice or gain. This is old share in profits of a partner subtract new share. Clear? Now, if old share is more than new share, right? Like in case of X, old share was 6 by 10 and new share was 5 by 10, then it is a sacrifice, right? And if old share is less than new share, now you are getting more than what you were getting earlier. This is a gain for you. This is X and this is Y. Clear? This is how we will calculate the sacrificing ratio or the gaining ratio. That which all partners are sacrificing and which all partners are gaining. Right? Old share minus new share. If it is negative, it is a gain. If it is positive, it is a sacrifice. Positive, sacrifice, right? Negative, it is a gain for the partner. Now see, if X is sacrificing 1/10 share in favor of Y, right? X is losing some part of his profit in favor of Y. X will demand something from Y. X will demand Y to compensate him for the loss of profit, right? The amount of profit which is sacrificing in ratio of Y, right? So we can say gaining partner should pay the sacrificing partner some compensation for loss of share in profit, right? And what is this compensation called? This compensation is known as goodwill. That means the gaining partner will pay some amount of compensation to the sacrificing partner as goodwill, because it might be there that X was having a better reputation by Y. That's why X was sharing more profits, right? Now X and Y are sharing equal profits. X has sacrificed his some part of profit to Y. Y has acquired some reputation from X, right? So Y has to pay goodwill to X. The gaining partner should pay the sacrificing partner some compensation for the loss of share in profit, and this compensation is known as goodwill, right? And what will be the accounting treatment of goodwill, we'll see in the next lecture. How to treat goodwill in case of change in profit sharing ratio. See, the methods of valuation of goodwill will remain the same that we have studied. The accounting treatment in case of change in profit sharing ratio, how we have to treat goodwill from the accounting viewpoint, that we will see in the next lecture, right? So this is the beginning of change in profit sharing ratio. First, the reconstitution of firm, change in the terms and conditions of the very basic agreement, that is the partnership deed. Then change in profit sharing ratio, how to calculate the sacrifice and gain by partners, old share minus the new share. If it is positive, it is a sacrifice. That means old share was more, new share is less. Earlier he was getting more share in the profits, now he will be getting less share in the profits, right? If it is negative, that means the new share is more than the old share and it is a gain for a partner, right? So one partner will acquire some share in the profit from another partner. So one partner is the sacrificing partner, another one is the gaining partner. The aggregate amount of gain by one partner will always be equal to the aggregate amount of sacrifice by other partners, right? Then calculation of sacrifice or gain. Sacrifice is or gain will be calculated by the formula of old share minus the new share. If it is positive, then it is a sacrifice, that means old share is more than new share. If it is negative, then it is a gain for the partner, that means the new share is more than old share. Then the gaining partner should pay goodwill to the sacrificing partner for the loss of share in profit. Clear?